My name is Joe Rodgers. I'm an assistant professor at Keck School of Medicine at USC in the Department of Stem Cell Biology and Regenerative Medicine. My interpretation of what they think of the service is expanding knowledge and education. And so, that's a main driving force why I'm here today. Is, I had a lot of really great professors in college and in graduate school, and who really inspired me, who really made this science interesting. And that's what I want to be when I'm here. It's first a chemistry major, and then when you're doing chemistry, you end up having to take half the biology major curricula. And so I just figured, might as well. I was already halfway done with the biology major, so I picked it up. And in the grand scheme of things, I think biology is much more interesting than chemistry, but chemistry is much more rigorous. So I think, got two different perspectives on the science there. Straight to grad school after college. My first summer between my freshman and sophomore year in college, I had the opportunity to do research in a lab that was at John Carroll. That was a chemistry lab, very much like biochemistry, measuring protein DNA binding interactions. I went to graduate school at Johns Hopkins University. I went to the medical school there. The medical school has, sort of like here, has a graduate programs also. So I was in a graduate program of biochemistry, cell molecular biology, and probably that was another great, transformative experience in my life. A bunch of students that I met there, sort of colleagues that I met there, are still my best friends ever. I still talk with them. They were at my wedding this summer. That's where, starting my PhD work, I was the first graduate student of a starting lab there. My first advisor, Perry Puigser, and that was when I really started getting interested in metabolism. So I guess I've always been interested in metabolism. And it's sort of coming back to like biology and chemistry, my majors. It's sort of where biology and chemistry sort of meet together, where you have these molecules that provide you energy for your body, and the biology basically is the body using this energy for various purposes. I've had two postdocs, so I have sort of a little bit different background than most people. The connection with my current work is along the lines of, what is one of the most interesting sort of consequences of diet regulation is size regulation. How does energy control body size? How does it become a factor in sort of determining the size of an organism? And so the most likely way it's doing that is by communicating with the stem cells. So the stem cells are basically these building blocks that drive your body to grow or to repair injuries. And how do stem cells incorporate metabolic signals into their decision to divide or to not divide, and where to grow and what to grow? Yes, I'm a runner. I've been a marathoner for the past several years, and so I did Boston Marathon a couple of years ago. So that was, it was a tremendous experience. I've also been doing triathlons, Ironman and things like that. So I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm also a gardener. I love to garden. So one of the main factors in looking for houses, does it have a place to garden? So it's a nice sort of escape from science or the lab. This is a very exciting place. Coming here on the interview, that was abundantly clear. The university has tremendous resources, but I think the leadership is applying them in very smart ways, and they're investing in stem cell biology and neurogenesis. These are probably the two areas of biology which in the next 10, 20 years are just going to be what biology is. And I think the university identified that at the right time, and they're putting the right investments in the right places. And the leadership here just seems fantastic, and they're bringing in some established people who are great mentors but great leaders in the field, and they're also bringing in a lot of young people who are just bringing new ideas and there's a lot of enthusiasm to it. So I think this is just going to be a fantastic place to be. So I'm looking forward to hopefully collaborating with Walter in the future, or at least just talking with him more frequently. Yeah. There's really interesting work that me and Michael Bonaguidi could work together. So, I think he has a very similar approach to what I'm doing, but he's, this neural stem cell expert. So the big goal that I really is going to sort of direct with the direction of the lab, is I'm really interested in growth and repair. So you have all these different cells that are responsible for growing tissues or for repairing tissues. And they need to be, what they need to do needs to be coordinated in time, in space, and in scale. I'm interested in understanding how the body coordinates this for all the different stem cells in your body. So how does it know when you have a skin injury, you activate the skin stem cells, your vascular stem cells, or your hair follicle stem cells, apart from repairing, the underlying muscle? How does it sort of distinguish this out? And how does it know that a skin injury on your left hand doesn't mean you need more skin throughout your body? So I think this is actually a really interesting question because, for instance, like when you're growing, you seem to grow everywhere kind of simultaneously. And very much the same cells are responsible for doing this, the repair and normal sort of the growth and maturity. So how does the body know? How does the body distinguish some sort of acute repair and growth from sort of just global repair and growth? Why does this matter? So I think this is a fundamental question in biology that people have been studying for centuries or have identified as a fundamental question in biology. And there's literally nothing known about this other than restricting the diet of farm animals causes them to be smaller. How this works is completely unknown. This is just an area that's prime for this somebody sort of tackling this question. But also, like we talked about before, I really hope to be sort of an inspiring professor, whether it's inspiring the students to enter research or I inspire them to go on to do whatever they want, to be a teacher themselves or to be an author, things like that. I think there's a lot of really interesting things about science, and I just love this, and I hope to sort of convey that to